Hey guys, this is Mafia97 and today I have Antec VP500PC power supply. It is a low end of budget power supply by Antec with a 82% max efficiency. So it would be certified 80 bronze or 80 silver in the US rating of power supplies, if you are concerned with that. So let's open the box. So as you can see, here's the power supply with a nice bubble packing for shipping, etc. Protects the power supply from any kind of damage during the packaging, during the shipping and packaging. So the box is empty now. Only these are the contents you get in the power supply. The power cord, it is a 230 volt compatible power cord, so it will work in Indian conditions. This is a product manual. We'll show you that in a bit. Let me open the box, guys. So this was the packaging, bubble packaging, very nice packaging by Antec. Protects the power supply during shipping. And here is the power supply. Since it is a budget power supply, you don't actually expect the mesh around the wires, which protects you when you are installing the power supply in your computer and sometimes from the current. But not all wires have the mesh around them. Only few wires have the mesh around them. Let's open the wires. So this is the 8-pin PCI connector. This is the power connector which goes into the motherboard. Let me focus on that. Sorry guys. Again, let me show you 8-pin PCI connector. Oh no, sorry, it is the CPU connector as labeled here. You can see that. Most wires are labeled. These are the Molex connectors, as you can see. Okay, this is the 6+2 PCI connector which goes into your GPU. If your GPU is 8-pin, requires a 8-pin, then this power supply can support that. It has two 6+2 connectors for the GPU. But I would not recommend it with the high-end GPUs. Lower or mid-end GPUs would work quite well with the power supply, because it is a low-end power supply. In the end, it won't be able to power whole of your system if you install a GPU like R9 290X or a 970 GTX 970 or GTX 980 or 960 even. The lower end GPU, the better with this PSU, as still it is a mid-end or a lower end PSU. Okay, this is the CPU connector 8-pin. Okay, these are the SATA to power your HD, and these are the connectors to power your HDD and hard disk drive, solid state drive, CD-ROM, etc. If you use floppy drive, I don't think that can power floppy drive. So guys, these were all the wires. Of Antec 500PC PSU. Okay, now let me explain to you how many types of PSU are there. There are three types of PSU: overrated PSU, peak rated PSU, and continuous power PSUs. The overrated and the peak rated PSUs are of worst kind, and they usually deceive you, because the overrated PSU, like the rating on the PSU is 500 watt, and you but the actual capacity of the PSU is 200 watt. So that is deceiving the customer, or the the person who buys the product, because the PSU would not be never be able to achieve 500 watt. Peak rated PSUs, like PSU is rated 500 watt, 500 watt, then the PSU might not be always able to power 500 watt. Only in peak condition for some milliseconds or seconds will it be able to power 500 watts. But the PSU, like Antec 500PC I have, are the continuous power PSUs, which will be able to give you 500 watt power at all times, and it has a 82% efficiency, which goes along with the US rating of 82 bronze or silver rating. So quite a good rating for a budget or low end PSU. So guys, let's now open the PSU and see its components. I would have to remove the seal, because otherwise I won't be able to access this seal I'm talking about, access the screw under it. So warranty is already void. So guys, now I have removed the warranty sticker. Let me focus on that. The power supply contains a 120 quiet fan, which is really good for a low end PC, as the PC would be quiet and the power supply would be really cool. Won't overheat is what I want to say. Now I have removed all 4 screws from the power supply, so it should come off fairly easily. As you can see, let me focus it. See, as you can see, the capacitors used in the Antec power supply are of good quality and high capacity, so the chances of short circuit are very less. And the power supply provides on 3.3 wait on 5 volt and 3.3 volt less than 150 watt power supply, so that as it is a newer version, it supports the newer version of ATX, So that is quite good, because older version of power supply only provided more than 150 watt power on the 3.3 and 5 volt rail combined. It is good because as we move forward in the generations, the ATX version is reducing the power load on the 3.3 and 5 volt rails. So it supports this power supply supports the newer model quite well, quite well, and the older PC compatibility would be less. Let me show you the rating on the box. Let's keep that aside. I will show you that. So as you can see, it supports ATX 12V 2.3. So what that means is that it has high compatibility with the newer models of PC motherboards, etc. uh, and lesser compatibility with older model of PC. In the newer model of ATX, in the newer version of ATX, the load on the 3.3 and 5 volt rail is quite less, and usually in a 500 watt power supply, it would be less than 150 watt, somewhere around 140 watt. But if the power supply is of 1000 watt, 1000 watt, then in the 3.3 and 5 volt rail would have more than 150 volt power. So that is not deceiving you. That is because the power supply is of higher capacity. In this power supply, it is around 140 watt, I think, on the 3.3 and 5 volt rail. Let me check if it is marked anywhere. Yeah, it is marked here. As I was saying, let me focus. See, as you can see, on the 3.3 and 5 volt rail, the combined power is of 130 watt, and on the 12 volt rail, which is the main power source of the power supply, and the power capacity is 408 watt. So the maximum power output which the power supply can give is around 500 watts. So that's why it is a continuous power supply. Hope you guys understand it. Hope you guys are able to understand my what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that on the newer version of ATX, the power on the 3.3 and 5 volt rail would be less than 150 watt until and unless the power supply is more than 1000 watt. Since it is 2.3 supporting power supply, ATX 12V 2.3 supporting power supply, the power on the 3.3 and 5 volt rail is less than 150 watt. But if you get a power supply which also supports ATX 12 volt 2.3 version and has a power on and has a power of above 150 watt on the 3.3 and 5 volt rail, and the total capacity is less than 500 watt, then that power supply is deceiving you, and you should stay away from such power supplies. Okay, let me show you the inside of the power supply again. Oh. So this is the 120 fan by Antec. It is really quiet and cools the power supply sufficiently. No noise and no noise, and the cooling is quite good. The capacitors installed in the power supply, as you can see here, are of good capacity. I can't see the branding on them, but they look similar to the one I have on my Corsair power supply. Okay, if you want, you can replace the 120 fan 120 fan on the power supply with a faster one if you want. You just have to remove this. You just have to get a fan with this connector. you can see here, and just unscrew the 120 mm fan and install the new one which you want. That would improve the cooling on the power supply, but would increase the noise. I wouldn't recommend it as the stock cooling is quite good. So guys, this is the Antec VP500PC power supply, low budget mid-end power supply with a good amount of features and qualifies many standards. It has a 82% efficiency and would is a continuous power supply, and supports ATX 12V 2.3 version, so has a good amount of compatibility with the latest latest motherboards and other connectors. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you find my video enjoyable. Have a great day. Sorry guys, I forgot to tell you the power supply has all Junfu capacitors, which are quite good and last quite long. As long as the power supply is in warranty, they will last easily. So quite good for a budget or low end power supply. And let me again go through the connectors. Wait a second. Of this power supply. This is the 24 pin for motherboard. This one goes in the motherboard. This is the 6+2 PCI Express connector, and there are two in this power supply. This is the 4+4 8-pin CPU connector. There are four SATA connectors. Let me show them. There are four connectors, SATA connectors like this, and three Molex connectors. Where are the Molex? Three Molex connectors like this, and one floppy connector. Let me show you the floppy connector. So this is the floppy connector. So this this power supply has four SATA connectors, three Molex connectors, two 6+2 PCI Express connectors for GPUs, etc., and one 24-pin connector and one 8-pin connector for your motherboard and CPU respectively. So guys, that is all from this VP 500 watt Antec PSU video. Hope you like the video and have a great day.